Hi, it's Mark from Top Local. We're here with Bernie Pawlik, Pawlik Automotive in Vancouver, Vancouver's highest rated and favorite auto repair dealer and experts in auto repair. How you doing, Bernie?
I'm doing very well.
So we're going to try and run a cast that we've done a few times on the Ford Explorer Sport Trac engine replacement. What was going on with this vehicle?
So this vehicle came to our shop and was running very rough, and the engine was running very rough. The check engine light was on, very minimal amount of power. The vehicle would barely run. To be honest, it's surprising it could even be driven to our shop. So we proceeded to do some diagnosis. It was a pretty complicated diagnostic. There was a number of trouble codes. Without getting too technical, there's a number of trouble codes stored in the vehicle computer for a variety of misfires on the right cylinder, in the right engine bank. There was also a cam phaser code for the left engine bank, which seemed a little odd because the problems all seemed to be on the right. Kind of makes sense. There would be a camshaft, like a valve timing problem could be the issue. So we proceeded to do some diagnostic. It was a very long, arduous process, and in the end, we found that the engine needed to be replaced. Basically due to the fact that the oil pressure in the engine was too low to adequately operate the valve timing phasers, and eventually the timing chain would start rattling, and the valve timing would go out, and that was part of a lot of our misfire issue.
So you ended up replacing this motor?
We did. We ended up replacing the engine. So whenever an engine needs to be replaced, we look at options. It's always an expensive job. We look for used engines, good used engines, which are sometimes a good idea. In the end, we settled on a rebuilt engine directly from Ford. It was a factory rebuilt engine, and really nice engine. We're very impressed with it. Overall, I mean, it comes with the oil pan bolted on, complete valve covers, all the new sensors. Really deluxe package and quite a treat. And a lot of times you get a rebuilt engine, it doesn't come with the oil pan. You have to change a whole bunch of things over, and this one was very complete, so it worked really well. I've got a few photos to share, and I'll just a couple of things here. So basically, here's our view of the top of the engine. It's a 4.6 liter. It's an overhead can engine with variable valve timing, 3-valve motor. Not much to see other than a lot of plastic, which is typical for modern engines. As far as diagnostics, I mean, I mentioned that it was a bit of a tricky diagnosis on this vehicle. We have some of the tools that we use. One is a lab scope, and so this is a lab scope pattern. There's a yellow and a green trace you can see on the scope, and this shows the cam timing of the two different cam phasers. And so this is something we use to figure out what's going on with the engine, whether the valve timing's out. In this particular photo, everything's actually, in this picture, everything is good at the moment, but it changed as time went by. We could verify a lot of things, but it's a time-consuming process, but it tells us a lot of good, accurate information. And finally, there's our Ford engine. This is the new engine sitting, waiting to be put in. Actually, the other thing that's really neat about it, actually comes filled with oil and a new oil filter as well, which is pretty awesome. So that's the new engine right out of the crate, and yeah. So there's our photos. So I'll go back to us.
So what do you think caused the original engine's demise?
Bad maintenance. Yeah, I mean, this engine came in, it was way overdue for an oil change. The oil was hideous, and it did have 200,000 kilometers on it, to be fair, but that's still, for a vehicle that's been well maintained, if it's had all its oil changes done at the right time, 200,000 kilometers is really nothing. So I'd say bad maintenance absolutely was the cause.
So once you put the new motor in, how did everything run?
Well, it ran very smoothly, and we got up the road test in the parking lot, and it still had no power, which was kind of disappointing. You think, oh, the new engine is going to fix everything. But what else had happened, because the owner had driven it for so long with the engine misfiring, it actually melted the catalytic converters and caused a blockage in the exhaust system. So we had another issue we had to deal with. We replaced the catalytic converters, and then it ran fine. So the lesson here is when your check engine light's on, it's blinking, do not run the engine for very long. Drive it as gently as possible and get it fixed. When the check engine light comes on and it's just on solid, it's not often a big deal. But when it's blinking, that's a serious issue. And You know, catalytic converter job on this vehicle is another $1,300 on top of an engine. So, and that's buying aftermarket converters. If you got into the Ford dealer, it'd be like twice the price. So, maintain your car. That's what we always say here.
So if you're looking for car maintenance in Vancouver, these are the guys to call, Pawlik Automotive. You can reach them at 604-327-7112 or check out their website, pawlikautomotive.com. Thanks, Bernie.
Thanks, Mark.